Scholars use the methods of literary criticism to study texts in their final state, rather than studying the historical background of a text or its sources. This can be done with the 4 canonical Gospels, as well as the non-canonical Gospel of Thomas, since we possess the complete final texts of all 5 books. Like all stories, the Gospels contain the basics of a story: setting, plot, dialogue, character, style. The reader looks for patterns in the narrative that give clues to what the author wants them to think about different things. Redaction criticism stresses the redactor's significance in assembling, rearranging, and interpreting his sources. Matthew and Luke use Mark and Q as their primary sources, but they are not just copying what they say, they adapt them and interpret them to form their own work. For example, each gospel writer highlights different words spoken by Jesus when he dies. Mark and Matthew have Jesus crying out in anguish. Luke has Jesus forgiving his executioners. John has Jesus affirming that he has completed what he was called to do. While each author gives a different account of what Jesus said, the words they ascribe to Jesus are consistent with the way each of them depict Jesus in their books. Narrative criticism focuses on the way the story is laid out, its point of view, the way the author talks about his characters or contents, and even what the geography says about the author's intent. All the Gospels are presented by an omniscient narrator speaking in the third person. They know what people are thinking or doing in private. They know what Jesus prays while his disciples are asleep in the garden, and they record the words of angels, demons, and even God. They also use geography to make different points. Mark contrasts Jesus' successful ministry in the north in Galilee with the adversity he receives in the south in Jerusalem. At the resurrection, the women are even told to look for Jesus in Galilee. In Luke, all of Jesus' post-resurrection appearances occur in or near Jerusalem, and Jesus tells them to stay in Jerusalem until the Holy Spirit comes upon them. The first part of the book of Acts also takes place in Jerusalem. Luke tends to be more sympathetic towards Jesus' opponents, who are to be pitied for their ignorance, whereas Matthew shows no pity and records Jesus calling them hypocrites in danger of eternal fire.